This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone, I'm Srinivas Gorrepati. As part of this video, we are going to see how to configure data conversion transformation. So I already taken a data flow task in SSIS, and then after I already configured a data source, flat file source. So most of the people may have a lot of questions. I can write a query with the help of an SQL. Why I require a sort transformation? Why I require a data conversion transformation? Why can't I provide an SQL query, select a star from table name order by? If I use that one, why I require a sort transformation? In reality, like you are not going to have all the time a SQL server as a data source or Oracle as a data source. You may have a data source which is not a relational database. If you have a flat file or Excel file, so you cannot perform a where condition, group by or having by or order by or doing a pivot. So in that scenario, we are going to use these transformations. So I already configured one flat file source and I taken a data conversion transformation. If you want, in a data flow task, I'm taking data conversion transformation and I given a flat file source as input here. As part of a data conversion transformation, here, whenever you are performing a data conversion transformation, you cannot modify the input column. You cannot modify the input column. Only you can add a new column after converting your data. So as it is a flat file source, all the columns that I'm going to have of type text only. So I'm converting the date into the T date, a transaction date which is available by default, that is a string format, and I'm converting into a date. I cannot replace a T date column, but I can create a new column with a name here, a transaction date. The transaction date I convert it as a date. Similarly, transaction ID I'm converting into a number. By default, that is in the form of a text. I want to convert into a number. So whenever you are looking for an integer, you have a signed and unsigned integers are there. Signed integer means you are going to have a 1 bit as part of your data which represents a sign. So you can represent a negative value and a positive value, and unsigned is nothing but all the positive values will be available. So here I take it as a signed integer. So whenever it is assigned, you don't need to represent a length. So length is required for a textual data type. Code page is required for a textual data type. For a decimal, you require a precision and a scale. So I specified a transaction ID and a transaction date along with amount to paid. You can select whatever the column that you want. I'm just conveying it as sales, and I convert it into as signed integer. So whatever the column that you want to change the data type, you just need to select the column. It is going to populate it. It is going to create a new column For that, whatever the column name that you want to provide, you need to provide, and you need to provide the data type and other settings. Then after, if there is any error as part of this conversion for these three columns, if there is any error occurs, how you want to handle? You want to ignore it, or you want to bypass the error messages in another output, or you want to fail? You can configure here for each and every column. If there is any error occurs, how to handle that one. So then after, click on OK. Click on OK, and I taken flat file destination only, and data conversion I mentioned. Click on OK, mappings. Now here you can configure. So let's assume if you are performing any data transformations, data conversions, as you are going to get a new columns. So original columns, do you require or not? If I'm holding a transaction ID, I don't require a transaction ID for my source. Similarly, amount paid, I already converted and represented as sales, I don't require. And a transaction date, let's keep it as is. Click on OK. Then after, execute the task. It was executed, and you can open the file. Okay, you can open the file. The transaction ID was removed, so as that column is not there, it is showcasing a blank. Then after, amount paid I removed, so it is giving a blank. And then after, the date was available here. The date was available here, which is in the form of a text, and I converted into a date format. The transaction ID and amount paid were came here. So this is how it was converted. So this is how you can configure a data conversion transformation. A data conversion transformation, by default, it cannot change the data type of a original column. It always create a new column. At the time of destination mapping, you can remove that columns if required. That's it about a data conversion transformation. Thanks much for watching. If you have any questions, give as a comment in the below comment section. We'll respond on the same. Thank you.